Hey, a warm welcome for another day with Zenler. So this is April's edition. We ran one in March and we've got a lot of stuff going on today. So I'm just going to be talking about what's going on today. So first thing up is I'm going to be doing some housekeeping. So things you should be looking at in your site. It's always quite a good one to do with you guys. And then I'm going to be running into part one of our live build. Now, this was for our community who asked for this. So you were asking how we kind of put together a day with Zenler. So remember, there's so many different ways to use lives inside Zenler. So we're going to be looking at one aspect of that and using marketing funnels, which is what we do when we're running workshops now. Although there's other ways we can do it. We used to do it through courses as well, which is another way of doing it. But this is purely for a free event that you might promote to get leads into your site to basically warm them up. So it doesn't have to be like mega sessions like we do here with the Day with Zenler, but I thought it'd be interesting for you guys to see how we set up sort of multiple live events going on throughout the day. And you guys wanted that. So we're going to be showing you part one. So a lot of this stuff, as we've mentioned before in the past, is about planning. Okay. So I can see a few of you are in. If you want to put into the chat where you're from and if you're excited about today. And what I'm going to tell you also, this is in part one. We've got Mamie coming up in approximately 59 minutes, and she's going to be talking about automations, external automations. So this is in particular is Zapier. So this is these are questions asked on this all the time. So if you're new to using Zapier and you want to sort of just see what you can do with it, this would be a great one. This will be a nice one to introduce you to what Zapier is and what it does, especially if you're new to the platform. So guys, I love an active community. So you guys comment inside the chat and you can get active in there. So what I want to tell you about first, another thing is the YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen A Day with Zenler before and you want to catch up, you can go to our YouTube channel, and that's youtube.com/c/Zenler. Hit the bell icon, okay, and get notified of new events, because this is really important. All of our new features that we bring out, and we are really prolific, especially this year, we're bringing features in. They appear in here first, okay? And then Rakesh normally comes on, announce them via a post. We are getting into the habit of running a workshop on these as well after they've been released for the big features. So be tuned in for that as well. But you get a bell notification, and then normally like a day later, we'll run a workshop. So it all chimes together and you won't miss out. We do notice that a lot of people that use Zenler, they don't look at this, and then they come in like maybe 2 months after, 3 months after, they go, I didn't know that existed. Or it'd be good if Zenler had this feature. And we go, well, it's already there. We released it 2 months ago. So if you stay up tuned, you've only got to look at these. You can just look at the titles. It tells you everything. And if you're interested, you can jump in there. But Day with Zenler is here. What we're doing is we're color coordinated it. We ran the first one, we run 8 hours. So 2 4-hour sessions. 4 2-hour sessions. This time we're doing it 6 hours, so there's 3 sessions. Okay, so we got an exciting packed lineup today. We've got Kevin coming in at 12, and he's going to be talking about something that I don't know about. He's going to surprise us. He said it the other day, I'm going to surprise you guys, and he's not even told me what it's about, so I have no idea at all what he's going to be talking about. But he's going to be running for 2 hours, so it's a big session, whatever it is. So then on the last part, guys, you want to be in here for the last part, because I've got Rakesh on, and I'm not saying anything, but he's going to be on doing a presentation as well. So it's a surprise presentation. So if you can't watch live, and that is 4 p.m. BST time, okay, you can go on there and you can watch the replay after on stream. Now, if you are registered as part of Day with Zenler, then you get email reminders whenever we run these events. So one went out today at 7 a.m. or the 8th start. And you will see on our YouTube channel that all of these videos go on there. So you can catch up on there, but there is a delay. It's better if you're live. Plus, if you're live, you can ask questions as well. So it's much, much better for you guys to do that. So what I want to do is I want to talk about what we covered last week on housekeeping. I'm going to get straight into this. We're going to jump straight into the housekeeping session. Okay, so housekeeping session, we are up. Okay, guys, this is housekeeping. So last week, what we talked about was SEO tips, optimizing your pages for better visibility. So guys, if you haven't seen this, you can watch it on YouTube channel. We've got it all chapter marked in there. And we also talked about optimizing your website content, effective use of headings for SEO and the structure. And we talked about optimizing images with alt tags for better SEO and accessibility, for they can see it, especially they're not loading their image. Media organization as well. This was a big one. So I wanted to cover some other parts of this today for you guys to jump in and see. And we want you also, you can see my green screen's not very good. So let me just there we go. Oh, I'm not all fizzling because I've got a nice yellow top on today. My new yellow top. I'm matching with the background housekeeping. So what we're going to look at today, I'm going to grab my little phone because I've got some little notes here, is we're going to look at the importance of testing in Incognito and testing live as well. So again, if you're new to Zenler, it's really important that you understand what you're seeing from an admin point of view is not the same as what you would see if you are a student in lots of cases. We give you the ability to preview things and these sort of things in the platform, but you have unlimited access to things. So you can see everything that's going on. And that can give you a false sense of, oh, why is that there? That shouldn't be there. And you're not seeing it. So you're seeing everything. So a classic case would be if you haven't got any community set up or something, then it appear at the top, but actually for users, they won't see it. So these are kind of things that you need to be aware of. So I want to show you about testing in Incognito. So we've got a site here. This is the demo site I'll be using today for everything. And you're going to see that you can preview it here. Now I'm in the admin dashboard. Okay, so I've logged in, I'm admin. And you can see here, I've got this little preview button. When I click this, it will give me a preview of the site. And you can see lots of things come up in here. You can also see that I'm logged in. So I'm not particularly seeing this as an actual someone visiting your site, okay, or someone that's got access to things. So to actually view this in Incognito, it's really easy, guys. You can do two things. You can see here, it says preview on. And when you preview the pages of admin, you're always going to get this question mark preview on. Okay, and that just means that you're previewing admin. So probably the easiest way to say it is to come to the page and just to grab that URL. So left hand mouse button, click, hold, drag, and then press that control, hold the control, press C. And then in a Chrome browser, and all browsers, we recommend that you Chrome browser. And we say that for a reason. It's the best for working Zenler, okay? Now, other browsers, of course, all work with Zenler, but we recommend Chrome for you to do your admin work. So once you've gone over this and you've copied it, Control C, you're going to go up to the three little dots and jump straight into New Incognito window. If you click this, it's going to open up like this. So it tells you it's browse more privately. This won't change. It doesn't download anything. So it gives you a clean. And then all we do is select in here and press Control V, hit enter, and you're going to see that your page comes up. So you can see our pages come up. Now, look at, is there a difference between this and what we just looked at? Okay. So there is a big difference. There's a big difference in here. Show you what it is. Let's look at the preview as admin.blog. We haven't got the blog activated, so it's not going to appear on here. Okay? Or it might be for logged in users. So you get a different experience if you're logged in Incognito mode. Now, of course, you can set yourself up as a student as well, and you can go and check these things. So this is an important aspect of what we're looking at. So that's one way. You need to go in there and test it. Now, I also advise you to have secondary email. So you've got your main admin email, which is your account email, yeah, which you'll find under your account settings. And this is your primary. This is one that you use your root admin in admin area. But I suggest that you have another email address that you use for testing student. So you're going in there and you're testing it from that point of view. It's really, really important. And we mention this all the time, that testing is key. So you're going to see inside here, I've got lots of test accounts set up. I've got this one here. This is a makeup one. And I've got lots here. And you can see I've put plus in Zenler.com. So anything with plus comes in to my inbox. And it will do this with Gmail as well. So if you've got David at Gmail, you could put David +1 at Gmail, and you receive the email, test it from that point of view. So it's always good to go in there and test what's happening. So you've got there as a student there. I've got that as a tag manager. So let's have a look at this one. So to test this, if I've already got one in, I can add a user by clicking add, and then I can go down and I select it. So let me just add one. Let me take this one, private Joe. Okay, I'm going to take him. I've forgotten what the password is. I'm going to just stop my screen. It's always good to use a general password for your test students. So I'm going to set one. So I'll stop my screen share, otherwise you guys could get in. Okay, let's go screen. So there we go. We got a test student in here. That's the name. So I'm going to be testing this. I'm going to go into and pop up. I'm going to select that part of the URL. I'm going to open an Incognito window. I'll be logged out. I'm going to sign in. Got to put my address in there and password. Done. Coming back to you in a second, guys. It's just I'm putting passwords, and password manager flicks up and shows all my passwords, which is not a good thing. Okay. Very important. Doing lives. All of what I think got the recapture up. Okay, so I should now be able to. Here we go. So there you go. And look, you can see all these extra options because I've logged in. So you can see your memberships. You can see inside here, I haven't enrolled in any courses. Okay, but you can see under the blog, I've now got the blog showing. This is because I'm in there as that test student. So you're looking at this as if someone's bought a course or something and they come in. So you should go in here and you should play around with this because you see you've got like access to blogs and all courses in there. You can see all the courses that we available, and people can sign up for them in there, and then they would appear under the membership under there. But in things like the blog, you want to get to know what the student's experience is all about. So even in account, you want to go to the account of that student and you check inside here and you want to see what they see. They see the billing area. These are things that are different to you as admin. So you haven't bought anything yet. You can see any subscriptions they've got running. Now, as a student, right now, as a student, if I had a subscription, a membership, and I wanted to cancel it, I would go in there and I would cancel it from that area. Just going to turn off Teams because it's beeping away. That's annoying. Let me just. Okay. So you can see this is where they would be able to unsubscribe. So we had a question come in the Facebook group, and that question was how, someone actually turns off the reoccurring payment, say on Stripe, what happens in their account? Okay. Well, when Zenler checks for that billing, it doesn't, a subscription no longer remains. So it sends a payment failure out. But if the user had come into their admin area and gone to billing and gone to subscription, they could have just cancelled it in here. So understanding these things means you can tell your students. And we've done videos, you know, I always say have a help section on your site. This is the housekeeping. We're talking about the housekeeping. Make sure that you've got a section that tells people. So you would screen share something like this. You would set yourself up and you would say, if you want to cancel your subscription at any time, maybe do a video, you need to go to account, you know, you need to go to account, you need to go to profile picture up the top, you need to go to my account, and then you need to go down to billing. You can do this in the video, go to subscriptions, and you can cancel from there. So by giving people clarity of where they go, you're helping them. So this is a big housekeeping thing for them. Also, like things like their image in here, maybe they want to upload an image. So they say, well, how can I put my profile picture in there? You know, it does pull in from Gravatar. If they've got an image on there already, it will pull it in Gravatar, but they can upload one. So if they go to change in here, and for instance, they have a groovy image like this, then they can put that in there and crop and save, and they're going to get their image come up in there. You know, if they have a problem with their email address, you as admin can go in and you can change that, these sides. So understanding this stuff in here is important. Like, are you annoyed with the notifications? You know, from notification area, you can turn it off as a student. So I'm looking as a student, I'm understanding it. And this is really key. And so many creators don't even look at what their students are seeing. And I don't mean on the superficial level, which you might think is more important, but the courses show and all of these things. I mean deep inside, things like notifications, calendars, where their profile picture up, what their calendar, if they've connected it to their Google Calendar. You know, you can connect this to Google Calendar to stay informed of events. Their email preferences, you know, what are their email preferences? I can see that they're subscribed for all. So you can see all these things. They can see all these things from that side. So this is a really important aspect, I think, that people don't pay enough attention to. It's your platform. You should understand exactly what your users are seeing. So really important part of that is the testing phase, to go through there, set yourself up, even do a payment. You know, if you've got a course, you're charging for it, pay for it as a test student. It's not a problem. After you've tested it all works, go to your payment gateway, PayPal or Stripe, go in there and refund it back to yourself. You're not losing any money. You're just making sure and testing it. And I know a lot of people probably have the thoughts, I can't be bothered to do that. That's hassle for that. But it's really, really important. It's a really important aspect. We mention it all the time in loads of things. Test, 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 and test, you know, because it's such an important aspect of knowing about the platform. So I can see I've got, you guys are in there. I'm going to just look at Facebook because sometimes my feed doesn't show what's going on in the group. And I want to make sure that I've got questions or people I haven't. We got loads of stuff in here. So we got coaching life. Good to see you. Yeah, you're going to watch later. So you've probably gone. I've got Liz. Hi, Liz. What's the name of last week's session video? I want to get back. The name of it. I'm sorry, I don't understand. It's a day with Zenler. You can just go to our YouTube channel and you're going to find all the events there. It's worth looking through them all because you might actually get sidetracked and go, actually, you know what? I'm interested in that. So they're all in our YouTube channel. And like I said, if you have subscribed to our YouTube channel, you're not going to miss out on the features, these things. Really, really important for you guys. So make sure that you're doing that. Have you noticed how Facebook does a really horrible thing now? Like whenever you try to reply to someone's post on Facebook, right, it opens up. Let me just show you. It's so annoying. Whereas before you used to be able to do it in line, it now opens up. So what happens is you get me blurting out twice. I'll just show you just because it's a little fun one. So I've got you guys in here. So I go, yeah, I want to reply. Look, I'm straight away talking. It's so annoying. So Here we go. So, what's the name of last week's session? I think I covered that. And let's have a look. I make sure that I cover everything. Questions asked. Yeah. So, really important one. Make sure that you are testing. Okay. Are you guys testing? Do you want to give me yes or no, or I should be doing that, but I haven't? It's all right to say that. It's absolutely fine. We're all busy. We're like, yeah, got it working, looks good. And then you jump out. I'll launch it tomorrow. that's the usual one. I love the ones that come in where I'm launching a massive live tomorrow and I just need to set up the live. What do I do? They're the best question. Yes. So Pauline does. Pauline, yes, you should do. And me, yes, that's good as well. Pauline's been in lots of our workshops, so yeah, I should be doing it more. Thank you, Liz. Thank you for being absolutely honest. It's true. It's true. Lots of people don't. As long as you're testing, you should be doing it more. So it means you're testing. So that's a good thing in its own right. But just always test it, especially when it's, I say everything, but especially big things. You want to check that those emails are going out, the automations inside emails. So testing is key. It's such an important part of this. And I'm just checking my timing because I've got Mammy coming in. So, right, okay. So I want to cover something really, really quickly now. We're going to be speeding through this. I haven't got a lot of time. Do part one next. So let me just jump main stage and go and talk about email broadcasts quickly. So automations, templating. Templates are great. You guys agree, yeah? Templates are great. It means that you can quickly go in and set things up really quickly, so you haven't got to redo that work. So we're talking about saving time here. So what I do, or what we do at Zenler, is we actually have templates built up. So when you see stuff go out, it's in a default template and we don't have to change anything. Just put the copy in and then bang, it's off. So it's a big one. People always ask for this one. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to email broadcast first of all. I want to show you two things that we do. So you're going to notice in here that we have, this is our tutorial site, wrong one. Let's go to our email broadcast here. So you're going to see that I have this community template revision 1. So if we look at this and you open it up, this is a template. So you're going to notice that I've got it in draft. All right. So when you set an email up, when you design it all for the first time, you get it all looking right, and it might take you hours. It might take you a day. You might be scratching your head, but finally you get there. And then what a lot of you do is you go, great, it looks fantastic. I've sent the test to myself. I'm now going to send that out. And you send it out. And what you should be doing is keeping it in draft and calling it something like template, right? The reason being is that if I have it in draft and I can see it, and this is a test site, so they're all in draft, right, guys? But you can see I've got it there. I've set it up. I spent my time creating that new broadcast. So I'll quickly do it for you. I'll go in here and call it a template. Right, I'll hit. You think 6 hours is enough time? It's never enough time. So I go in here. I'll call it template. Let's call it template 2025. Okay, let's just select all this. Doesn't matter. We're not going to send this out. We're going to click next. Okay, so I've got to change this. Let me just change it because it's allowed to use. So I'm going to anyway. So say I've gone through and I've created this beautiful template. I'm just going to choose one here. And I've spent the time and I've put my nice image in there. And I go, yeah, that's the one for me. And I've gone, yes, I'm going to put a nice logo in there. Have I got any logos? Yes, I have somewhere. That's it. So these aren't the right size or anything. Get the idea. So, and then I've changed it all over. I've done my text. Maybe I've colored my text a nice color. That's my branding color. I've dropped a lovely image into here. Choose. Then we'll be looking at this, something like that. And I've got all that ready. And then you go, right, okay, great. And I've given it a title. I'm going to call it My Newsletter April. Obviously, you put and then I click next. And then people go send now, and they hit send now. What I want you to do is I want you to set up a nice looking template that you've got. Spend your time, take your time with it, set it to draft, click save as draft. Now what you're going to get is going to appear in here in draft mode. Now I'm going to tell you why this is important, because next time you come in to send a mail out, we're going to use this one, which looks like this. One is we can preview it easily here. It's harder when you've sent it out. But the other thing is we can clone it. So this is the speed side of it. So once we hit this clone button and we call it April, like so, it's going to jump straight into it. Then you're going to set your filters for who you're sending it to. Okay, going to do it all contacts. You can click next. We're going to click this anyway. And then you can go in here and you can change that content out. So you can go, right, okay, well, I don't need that. Let's get rid of that block. I can change this text over to something else. So, hello. I can go and change the text in here. You know, I can go in there. I can change the link. If I've got the link going somewhere else, I can change it in there. Drop a new link in there. And I've got all the stuff all in position. So now all I need to do is click next, and then I can send. I hit send now, and I can send it. So then I can send it out straight away, which means that it's going to be instant. Okay, now I've got a few things going on here because this is a test site. So then I can send it out and I've got it. So next time I come in to do it, I can go in and again, I can clone. So this is going to save time after time after time of doing this. And this will be a real time saver for you guys. So that is templating. Did you like that one? Look. Right, okay. You're paying attention to what I'm saying here, I'm guessing. More homework, haven't tested. So Karen's going to test. Good, yeah. So that setting a template up in there is really easy. So you can just leave it in draft and then you can just copy it each time. So you can spend the time getting it all looking right. This is like gold dust for you guys that are not doing this, that are setting it up individually. The benefits of this are not only time, they're consistency. All your type size is the right size. Your colors are spot on because you spent the time working. Your social links are all linked up to the right social places. You know, this is massive amounts of timing just on your email broadcast. But what about automations? We can do the same principle with automation as well. So if I go in now, I'm going to screen share again. We're going to go to marketing funnel. It really doesn't matter at this point what automations you use. I like automations funnels because it's a place where I put it. So what I do is I create a new funnel, lead magnet. I'm going to call this emails only or copying. All right, I can't make it easier than that. So now I don't add anything. I'm not even going to create a funnel. I don't care what it looks like. This is not important. Right, so I've got all the funnel steps. It all opens up. I don't care about any of that. I'm using it as my base for my templates. I'm going to click in automations. I'm going to open the automations up. I only want one base automation. So I'm going to delete out the ones I don't want. Right. So now I've got this automation and I'm going to call this copy it. Right. I'm writing this so it's really, really clear. So in here, I'm going to put copy code. Right. And this will be clear in a second. So you'll give it a title. You've always got to give it a title. So my email template for automations. Okay. So something like that. Doesn't matter. We're going to do it. We always write the title specifically, uniquely for each the automations sending. So this really makes no difference. Right, but this is the good bit. Inside here, you can now go and you can format this exactly how you want. So dear, and then let's add a personalization in there. Let's add their first name. And let's put, this is my base template. And I will use it for all. Okay. And you can get this looking good, the same as you build for your page builder. So I'm not going to spend ages doing this. And then we're going to go down here. This is the standard link. Yeah. And then you might grab that, drop a link in there. It can be a dummy link. So I just use a hash and I'll put the right link in. You can see that's my link in there. And then I go the best David for your sign off, whatever you want to call it. Right, so this is where you start making good. We're going to go and grab a little Zenler logo in here. Make sure it's the right size, guys. Sorry, I'm doing this. There you go. I've got a nice base template. Now, also, I might want to change my font. So I am selecting, notice, I'm clicking with the left mouse button at the very bottom, and I'm dragging up, and then I can go across to size. What I do is I go down to small size. Okay, first of all, so I always choose something really small, like this, 10. Then I go and find the right size, something like 20 or 18. Now I go across to my fonts. This is where people have a lot of problem. Remember, I've selected all the text. So I'm going to go New Roman. Then I'm going to select the font I want, which is Arial. Now I've got something that's standardized. Now this one at the bottom is too big. I'm just going to select that and go down to a very small text inside here. Sometimes this goes a little bit crazy. Okay, so I can do it twice, and there you go. Now I've got a template. I have a template. I'm going to save it. So it's going to save my thing. There you go. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to make it live. Okay, this is a test. Right, so I now, if I go in marketing funnels, I have this email only for copying. Right, this is it. Right, so I'm going to show you now. I'm going to copy this email that I set up, and I'm going to put it into another one of my funnels. So all I'll do is open this one and go, right, okay. Let's come into automations. Let's go into the code. And here, in this code, I'm going to open this box up. Yeah, like that. I'm going to press Control. I'm going to hold the Control key, and I'm going to press A. Hold the Control key, press C. Okay, now I've copied that. I'm going to now jump into a new funnel. Let's go into here and go to automations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new mail, drop a mail in there, sits here. I'm going to open up this tab. I'm going to press Control, hold the Control key, press A, delete it out, press Control V to paste that code back in. And then I'm going to close it, and I've got my standard format with my logo. So I can use it as a way to pull it in as a template. This is a massive time saver for you guys. So if you look through your automations, do this, check through all your automations. I bet you that they're all different sizes, different styles, maybe different colors. This standardizes. So this makes it your life so much easier going forwards. So guys, any comments on that? Gonna just refresh. Oh no, nobody's. See if that helped you guys out. Liz. Exactly, Liz. Yeah, so yeah, it's so simple. Yeah, it's so simple. So sometimes you don't have to create something. You can use something to make your life easier later. Okay, it's the same as things like saving blocks. Later on, it makes your life easy to do this. So if you're saving blocks in your pages, you can easily go and reuse them later on. So if you've got a Pro Premium, you can save blocks. So for instance, if I go into, let's go main screen. If I go into this page here, I have a lovely header set up. If I save this block here, I can reuse it again in my pages. So I can go in here and I can save, and I can put a header main. Make sure it's descriptive so you can understand which one it is. Now it's saved. When I go into a brand new page, let's go into the terms page. I can come down here to my blocks, jump down to custom blocks. And you're going to see that the last block saved is the one I just saved. So I can drag it in there. Okay, sometimes the color goes a bit off with this. So you can just change that color out, just make sure you've got that color. And sometimes the button color changes, but hopefully these little things will be ironed out. But now I've got the same block. But how quick was that to put that in there? So then you can go and change the text to something else, and you've got something that is the same as everything else. Again, look at your site. I guarantee you that you have font sizes, probably font types, colors, a myriad of different types of font, colors, text sizes going on in your site. We know one of the most important things and the easiest things for you to do as a non-website designer or designer is to keep things consistent. If you keep things consistent with the font size, the colors that you're using within your color branding kit, then everything will just work and look like it's part of the same site. I've seen so many sites where I've gone on one page, and I've gone, that's a nice looking site. And then I've jumped to another page and it's like I've gone to a different site. It doesn't feel like it's part of the same site. And this happens all the time. And generally it's from non-designers, okay? Some people that, and that's fine, right? You're supposed to be a non-designer coming here to teach. So I'm telling you some basic advice that will help you. Consistency is key. And doing things like saving blocks, making sure that you have written down the font you're using, the font size, the line height that you're using, and make sure that's consistent through everything that you're doing. And that way, everything will be consistent around everything you're doing. The colors that you're using, make sure that you're making sure that you take a note of the colors that you're, here's the color. So if I copy this color and I want to apply exactly the same color to this background, I can come in here and I'll have this in a little branding sheet. I'll paste it in there and that's exactly the same color as that background color. So these are just things that you should be doing if you're not doing them already. And I guarantee you some of you won't. Okay. So really important. If you're using things like Canva, inside Canva, you can find these colors. Okay. You can find all those colors in there and you can actually go and you can grab those colors from Canva. So if I've got, for instance, this one here, I'm not sure I've got this color in here. Let's just color. Let's go, and if I've got a color for this background here, like I've chosen a color, I go, yes, this color is really good, something like that. I can get that color by clicking in here, and then I've got that color. I've got that color and I've got a sheet, normally a sheet with all this details down, so that when I go back into my site, I can then just paste that color straight back in there and it will be exactly the right color. Okay, no messing around, exactly the right color. So that's something that is important as well. So keep things consistent through your site is a really, really important one. Okay, we're good. All right. So we are at 8:38. So this is going to be a really quick one for you now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do part one of the live builds. Okay. So here I am. So live build. We're on to the live build part now. Hopefully that first housekeeping session was good. I had a load more notes I want to do, but it seems like 6 hours is not enough. Strangely enough, 6 hours is not enough to cover everything I want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be telling you how we created a day with Zenler. And we're going to start from the very beginning. We're going to start with a plan. And if you guys, are any of you guys thinking of doing an event like a day with Zenler as a sort of free giveaway? Are you thinking of doing this? Are you interested to know how to do it? because this can be really powerful. You put this across your social media sites, like you're doing a day event and you're warming people up, teaching them a little bit about stuff, telling them about your courses. At the end of every session, you should be saying, I've got a course on this, by the way, guys. Go in here, I'll give you 10% off or something. Then you're getting people. So you'll capture them as leads, but not only you capture them as leads, you might well get them to convert as well, and you should be. So you're working on. So free events, really powerful. Lives, really, really powerful because you're connecting with the audience, although you can't see them. It's an environment. I can't see you guys. Right, so just quickly, I'm going to cover Liz. So I can go back to all my pages, save the ones I want, standard. If you're on our Pro and Premium plan, Liz, I don't know if you are or not. Hopefully you are. And then you can save blocks. If you can't save blocks, you'll have to copy the code. And I can send you a video on how to code. It's no problem. Really quick. In fact, I covered it in the day with Zenler. So if you're on the Pro Premium, you'll have that little save icon. If you don't have it, it's because you're not on the paid plan, free plan. But you can still do it on the free plan, just a little bit more involved. You have to copy the code. A bit like I copied the code in automation, put them in. Do the same thing with that as well, even on the free plan. So then it's really good. It really allows people to be able to do what they do. Obviously, we don't give you premium features like running lives, setting up blogs, or using like the branching funnels, these kind of things. But we give you access to a lot of different stuff. Good. Are you on the page? You can do it then. Go into the blocks you love the look of, hit that little save, name them appropriately, but you do get a preview, and then drag them in there. Little tip though, just remember what that background color is, because sometimes it converts it to white. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So make sure that you get in that background color. Funny enough, if you copy the code, it doesn't do that. So I'm moving on now to our live build area. So let me just jump in. Okay, we're live building. Good. Right. So most important thing. So if you guys are thinking of doing what I'm doing, and it's worth you doing this just to follow along with me, and what I do is I open like a notepad up, and we're going to be doing a checklist as we work through. So in the last half of session 3, which is from 5 p.m. onward, I'm going to be finishing this off and building this an hour. Okay. And we're going to start with the plan. So the plan is to have something like Notepad or a piece of paper or Canva, whatever you want to use. And we're going to do our plan of attack. So the first thing you need to do when planning an event is to plan an event. So for a day with Zenler, we're going to have the name of it. So we're going to put something like the name, a day with Zenler. Okay. Let's call it May 2025. Then we're going to have a description of what it's about. So you're going to have a description. So you're going to say an event. And you can make this longer. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Right. So and blah, blah, blah. You'll go on and you'll write more there. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to plan when that event's happening. So for instance, let's set this on the 25th of May. This is not when, that's the last Friday of each month from this. So let me check when the next one is. The last Friday of the month is the 30th. So 30th of May will be the next day with Zenler. So we're setting the date now, when the date is going to happen. And timings. So I want, and we're doing this exactly like we would for this, 8 a.m. till 12. Sorry, to 10. Let this happen. It's going to be 12. 2, and then we got a 1 at 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock happening today, and each 2 hours. So it will work out to be 6 hours. I'm just giving you this is our plan, and this is what you need to do each time. Okay, then you're going to write an agenda. So I'm going to use today's agenda. So session 1, or you can put as a list, housekeeping, got eat, baby, gain session 2. So what I'm doing is I'm building up a list and I'm writing this all down in here, just in a little document. It gives me all the information I need to move forwards on the creating it. So I know that I'm going to have to set up 3 live events in here. I'm going to do it as a funnel. It's going to be a free event. So you might want to have a note section here. Now, we're not doing this for lead generation because we just do this into our group, okay? But you would be doing this for a purpose, so lead generation. So you want to be making sure that you've got lead times as well. We'll be talking about this later, but you don't want to run this like in 2 days' time, all right? You want to be setting this up 1 month in advance. That's what I do. I am setting up the next day with Zenler, and I haven't even finished this one yet, all right? So that's what you should be doing. You should be giving yourself at least a month, because we need at least 7 days before to promote it, okay, or more, because you want to start shouting about it as soon as you've got it together. So once you've got all this information down, you're ready to go. So this is an important aspect of it. I need you guys. I'm going to fill more of this in so we can look at it in part 2 of the live build. But that's what we need to do. We need to be writing down something like this. We need to have all the notes. You need to have a description. You need to have internal notes for you, what you're doing and your plan of attack. And then we can start building it. So it's more than just, I'm going to build what we do for a day with Zenler today. You know, I could take the easy route and just do that, but that's not thorough. We want to be talking about how much time you want before, what you're going to be doing with it. Okay, this is really important and key to making sure that your event runs smoothly. You've got all those timings, especially like things like guests. If you've got guests on, like I've got Mammy in here. She's here now. She's waiting for us. And she's going to come on at 9. And she's waiting there because I've sent her the link. So if she didn't know the timings or you left it to the last minute, maybe she wouldn't be available. So these are sort of things that you have to do right at the beginning. And like it takes a few minutes to do this, right? So you're planning all this stuff out and you've got it. So you make sure that you do this. And we do this with all of our workshops because we need to. We're running a massive workshop on communities, connections. Kevin's hosting the whole thing. He needs to know that we're available on the dates we are coming into those sessions. And if he leaves it too late, then we might be busy and then it's a problem. So these things are absolutely essential to you running things. So you need to be writing this down. Notice we've not even touched Zenler. Now I'm saying to you, this is the most important part of the whole thing, because without this, you are just squabbling around, making things up as you go through with no plan going forwards. And this is why we say to you all the time, plan what you're trying to do. Mammy's coming in with Zapier. She's going to say to you, you need to plan what you want to achieve, and then you find the tools to be able to do it. The plan always is the first thing. Your strategy, your plan going forward, what you want to achieve. So free event for lead generation, posting to my socials, and you might want to say inside here, I want to do a series of pop-up lives on this date, this date, this date. So we're not even building yet, but we're making sure that we've got a plan in place. It'd be very easy for me to go in and say, right, 3-hour sessions, set up the lives, set up the funnel. There you go, finished. But that's not how you want to do it. You want to make sure that you've got this plan running through. Otherwise, you're going to be in big trouble. So I want to see what people are saying on the group about this, because it's such an important one. So guys, you got any? Are you with me with that? Do you understand that? Do you understand the importance of it? Anyone not agree with me and think that just making it up is the way to go? Because it's okay. It's okay if that's how you think. We can have a little debate. I can tell you why. We should just have. You're all quiet. You're going to start getting really active when Mammy comes on, because everybody loves Mammy. So he's here. All right. So that's what I want you to do. First of all, I want you to make sure that you're setting out that plan. We're going to look at it in part 2, where we're then going to start putting the bits together. Okay. And I'm going to be telling you about Canva as well, how you could use Canva for this to create. If you want the templates that I'm doing, I'm going to be filling this. We're going to be doing a check sheet of every step through. So as I complete certain parts, like what do we start with? We can start with lots of things. We're going to start with making sure we've got our lives built. 3. We're going to then look at the marketing funnel and get that just into a basic rough form. And then we're going to look at the automations, how you tie the whole thing up. Okay. Yeah. So Diana here. Hi, Diana, out from Wales. Beautiful. Planning is key. Yeah, absolutely. Without the planning. But it's surprising how many people just jump straight in. And I love that. I love the enthusiasm. But later on, you find you're going back on yourself. How many times have you started a project? I've done it many times, and I'll probably do it again, where you started building something. I did it the other day when I was building this cabinet, which I've got behind me, which I'll unveil. And I really didn't plan it. I was like, I'll just make the frame together and I'll put the top and do. And then things didn't work out. And then I was scrabbling to try to make the thing better. And I've got it sorted now. I had to basically rip it all apart and then plan it and go through it. So it wasted so much time. So planning, just like in everything that you're doing, is the key. Even if it's a loose plan, some plan is better than no plan for these things. Sure. All right. So are you okay with that? Are any of you going to follow on? I know Karen normally follows on. Pauline follows on. Is it you going to? And Diana. So Diana knows planning is key. So you really simple, you know, it's like I said, you just put something together that gives you all the information that you need. So you'll have that name of the event. Okay, you're going to have the notes for internal use, description of the event. Then you're going to start with the date and timings, set your event. You're going to have the agenda, what's going on. I've got Mammy coming on next, done my bit, housekeeping, start live 1, part 1. And then you move on to part 2. So part 2, I've got really easy part 2. Kevin, question mark. I don't know what he's talking about. So then I move on to session 4, 3. And then I've got Rakesh talking about question mark. I'm not going to give it away. And then live build part 2. That's it. That's today's session done. Okay, so something like that. Be descriptive as well, because we're going to use this information when we put the funnel together. We're going to be using it inside. We might even use parts of it for the email that's going out as well. So you need to make sure you're planning everything. You know it's all going to work for you. And we got 6 hours running there, the total event time. And then you should be good to go. That's your work for today. So I have the amazing Mammy here. She's a little bit early. It's good. I'm glad you're early because you've segued beautifully.
Yes. Hi, David. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely good. And I would like to say that everybody loves as much as they love me, and they love David more. I think it's vice versa. When I'm taking the session, I have more fan following from David.
It works both ways, doesn't it? So
Absolutely.
we got an exciting session today, haven't we, from you? This is what
Yes,
this is such a big one. People ask these questions all the time, and it's really good that you're
absolutely.
doing it. Hmm.
Yeah, that's the one because a lot of times I see that they keep asking about automations, but the ones that are outside of Zenler, and they kind of find tutorials, but all the tutorials that we have are absolutely for Zenler, because that makes more sense for them to follow. So sometimes I try to tell them verbally, but I thought maybe if I cover it on day with Zenler, it'll become a training for them to watch to understand the basics of it. And if they want to go advanced, they can definitely contact the particular tools and their tutorials and then, seek assistance from them. But at least we can guide them into the basics, into understanding what it is.
Yeah, and I think it's like you just said that using things like Zapier, there's so many different things that you can do with it. Um,
Absolutely.
it can be really confusing for people. So if you start at that grassroots level where you're showing those basics of how the apps work and those things, then that's going to be the key to people going forward. A lot of people use Zapier, guys. So on the group, they also use Pabbly as well. It works in pretty much exactly the same way. So I know Amit supports Pabbly all the time. He's talking about it.
That's
So
what I will do a little bit today as well. I'll talk more about Pabbly because I'm more acquainted with it. But like David said, it's almost the same. The verbiage differs and a little bit of integrations might differ, but the way it functions and the way you use it is exactly the same. I'm showing a little bit of Pabbly today because I use that more. But maybe in the future, one another training we'll do on Zapier as well so that we have both of them for people to choose which one they prefer. So we can absolutely do that.
yeah, absolutely. And I've already done some workshops on using Zapier to tie it to things like Google Docs. So that we've already got videos for that. While Mamit's doing a presentation, I'll try and dig it out. It's somewhere, but it's worth mentioning. Zapier is our integration. It's part of Zenler. But it doesn't mean that you can't use other integrations as well. It's like some people use Active Campaign, some people use Moosend, some people use MailerLite for their mail. It's really up to you. So whether you're using Pabbly or using Zapier, all good. It's all good. And they do work in the same way. Pabbly works in the same way as Zapier. So
Absolutely. Yeah. One of the goals today was also to highlight the external and the internal automations because a lot of times people come with, things that they want to do wherein they want to understand, can this be done outside of Zenler? Yes, it can be done, but you should have a little bit of, that techie space or techie curiosity to be able to work the tool as a connector between Zenler and anything that you want to do. So that's one of the reasons to choose Pabbly today, to show them that externally it is possible, but then you need to be aware that you're going into tech and you're well acquainted, or maybe someone in your team wants to take that up, or maybe a VA that you're hiring. That is something that you should be ready with if you're going with an external tool.
yeah, exactly. And they are external tools. So it's like, don't ask us specifics on particularly things for external software. Those systems should have their own help system for you to be able to talk to them directly, not them. Like we deal with our product. But yeah, Zapier, Pabbly, really big ones. And it's also a lot of people are trying to use automations, external automation, when they don't realize that those automations are actually already included in Zenler.
Right. That's another thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's super exciting. So can I pass you over then for 2 minutes before your
Yes.
actual start time?
Yeah, absolutely. There's this phrase that I've heard a lot of times, and I try to, abide by it, which means on time is late. You should always be before time because if you're reaching on the time, that means you're already late. You should be a little pre-prepared. So I think I'm like on time. When I'm before time, I'm on time.
It's true. It's true. It is great. All right. I'll hand over to
Yes.
you. I will look at the chat. I will be here so I can feed any questions that come through. But over to you, Mammy. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Likewise. Hello, everyone. A very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whichever part of the world you're joining us from. Today, I will be talking about automations like we've been discussing for a while. This is one question that comes up in the live educational desk every week. Before I go there, if you're someone who has never attended a Zenler live educational desk, then that's our live support that happens every week, Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. UK time, depending upon the kind of questions and the theme of the day, because when people join in, the theme is auto created. The next one is coming up on Saturday because the 1st May is a Thursday, which is a bank holiday and May Day. So only for this particular week, it is on the 3rd of May, and you will find it in the Facebook events. Otherwise, every Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. UK time. Having said that, this is one question that comes up in all the live sessions once or maybe twice, either about an internal automation, that is possible within the software, within Zenler, or about an external automation that is using Zenler and another tool to connect Zenler and that particular tool and then use it as a connector. So today I will start from the basics. What are automations? What are triggers? What are actions? And what are the types of automation? I will go a little bit into the Zenler automations as well. And then I will focus on Pabbly as a tool and show you inside the dashboard on how Pabbly works. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, keep them coming. I will take those questions after the session, or even if you're watching this on a replay, keep putting your questions and we always go back to our trainings and look at the questions and answer them for you. So let's get started. And I will just remove myself from the screen. Why do we do automations and what exactly are automations? Automations help you save time from repetitive tasks. If you have to, let's say, send a welcome email to every time a student enrolls in your program, that's a lot of bandwidth. If you have to tell them how to sign in into your platform, how to reset their password, what is the step one they should take, what is the step two they should take, it's a lot of bandwidth for them. And for you as a course creator as well to set all of them again and again. That is why we use automations. Every time you find something that is happening again and again manually, you make a note of it, and then you see, can this be done internally within the Zenler tool? If yes, go ahead and do it as soon as possible. If you find something that this can be done externally, that is using another tool with Zenler and can save my time, put in a little bit of hard work with a VA, but get that done and save your time. That is what exactly automations are. And I've already explained what automations are. To go a little bit on detail, if you have automations work as digital connectors to link any tasks. For example, you want to create a database of people who are enrolling in your course in an Excel sheet, just because you love Excel sheets, just to take an example. Now, you want to do this one thing that every time somebody enrolls into the program, you want to add that data into an Excel sheet to understand who are the people who are enrolling. Or, for example, you do not want to give certain people access to your Zenler account, but they need access to how many people are enrolling, maybe your marketing team. Now, here you would use an automation wherein you would tell the system, and I'll explain you in as simple language as I can, like a 5-year-old. You will tell the system that, hey, I want the data of people from Zenler who have enrolled into my program. The system will extract the data of people who have enrolled in your program, and then the system will go to Excel sheet and you will tell that, hey, system, the second thing that I want you to do is to add this data to the Excel sheet. And the system will add that data to the Excel sheet. And that is how you link two tasks or two tools together
I think I've lost Mammy. I think her sound's gone. Might be back in a second. She's okay. She's going out. This is live. This is what happens. She's mid-flow.
I'm right
Mammy.
here. Yes,
Right.
I'll
Carry on.
I'll
Sorry.
continue. Yes. And like David said, this is live. This is not a recording. It might look like it's a recording, but it's not. It's live. All right. And that is how, like we were discussing, you use automations to be able to set up everything automatically to remove the clutter of doing it all over again. And it saves more time on reducing errors and lets you focus on meaningful work. What are the kind of automations we have? One is internal automations. For example, in Zenler, and I'll show you in a moment, in Zenler, we have automations like email sequences. We have automations like student reminders, admin notifications, course progress, any and everything that you would want to know about. Those are the internal automations where you can have communication with your students, with your leads, send out newsletters through email broadcasts. There is an automation system in every part of Zenler, in course, in marketing funnels, in email broadcast, every space there's an internal automation, which I'll show you, but a little bit faster because we'll focus on the external tools today. The external automations are wherein you use tools like Pabbly, Zapier, or there might be other tools in the market as well. But the best ones we recommend are Pabbly and Zapier. And once they come in, you can connect Zenler to any other apps, a Google Sheet, a Slack, any other tool that you use in your business, maybe a payment gateway that is more relevant in your country. You can connect to that as well to automate any complex or cross-platform workflows. For example, add new leads from Zenler to any of the CRM system that you might be using. A lot of people use HubSpot as a CRM. You might want to extract leads from Zenler and then add it to HubSpot. That can be done through automation. You might want to send a Slack message to one of your students when someone enrolls, a welcome Slack message. That can be done. If you want to send out a custom invoice when somebody purchases your course, that can be done as well if there are any things that you would like to add to that particular invoice. Though Zenler shares an invoice already, but if you'd like to go ahead and do some kind of differentiation there, those are external automations. And we will today talk about Pabbly and Zenler when it comes to external automations. So before we get started, what we'll do is we will go internal first. We will look at the internal automations that Zenler has and how we can best use the internal automations that we have. I will first take you to the courses area to also learn about the email system that we have. A big part of automations is email automations. In the tour of Zenler, there was one live session where we talked about emails in Zenler. If you go to that particular session, and we'll also put the link below this live session, that one session is covering email automations in detail in Zenler. So that session added with this one will really help you. But for now, I will tell you the different kind of automations we have. This is a test site. To begin with, let's say I open this particular course. The first kind of automations that you would have is to send out enroll email sequence. As soon as they enroll, what are the kind of emails you can send them? Once they have completed the course, what are the kinds of emails you can send them? You also have triggers that you can use. Triggers would mean that when do you want to send it? Like if a user has enrolled today, do you want to send it 0 hours from enrollment, 1 hour from enrollment, or what is the delay that you want to put? This is the trigger of the email. And you can automate all the welcome email sequence that you would want. How do you access the course? How do you get support? Any information that you'd like to add here. You can also send course completion emails as well. One more automation that you can add that would really help you. A lot of times, course creators and the people we speak to on a daily basis asks us, I want to get notified every time a new person is joining a course. How do we do that? You go to your emails and you click on add action here. I will click on add action and you have an option to add a tag, remove a tag, send a webhook, or notify admin. These are also different types of automation that you can do in Zenler. And if you go to the tutorial site or the support.newzenler.com, you will find a resource material for all of them. Here is the most important one that I'll tell you about, which is notify admin. If you click on notify admin, you would be able to add here that what is the subject of the email. You can say new course enrollment for yourself. Then you can write a mail content for yourself. Hi Manmi, congratulations, there has been a new course enrollment. This is just the beginning. Maybe a little bit of motivation you'd like to add for yourself. And you can save changes, and then every time a new person joins the course, you will receive a notification. This is the first kind of automation. Then we have drip automation as well. Let's say you want to drip your content. You have about 8 to 9 lessons and you do not want to provide access all at the same time. You want to send one course, one lesson at a time. And with that, you want to be able to send a different email with each lesson that is dropping. That can also be automated. These are the course automations. When we go to marketing funnels, you have email automations in marketing funnels as well. If I go to the funnel here, you will go to automation and you have email drip sequence. In the email drip sequence, you can add as many emails as you would want. Now, sometimes, people use this funnel for different reasons. Like inside Zenler, we use funnels for our workshops as well. We drip content through the marketing funnel. Some people use funnels for a 30-day email course. Some people use funnels to drip video course. Some people use funnels to drip another kind of content. So you can use these funnels as a lead magnet to get people into your system, and then you can keep nurturing with as many emails as you want them. As similar to course emails, you have an option here to add a delay, personalize the subject line, personalize the content, put in tags here as well, put in filters, which again, like I said, this is in itself a big topic. You should definitely watch two things. You should watch the email automations or email marketing session from the tour of Zenler, which has covered email marketing along with tags and filtration in detail. And you should always go to youtube.com/@Zenler and look for any resources related to tags and email marketing, and you will get tons of resources. That's another way you can use your automation inside Zenler for your marketing funnels. The third thing is email broadcasts, wherein you can send one at a time email blast. So in courses, in marketing funnels, the emails that you have put might be evergreen, which means that once you have set that email, on the basis of the delay that you have set, anytime a person gets into the system, even if they do it after, maybe 10 years, they will keep receiving it if your system is live. But the email broadcast is sent once at a time. It is sent to the audience at a particular date and time. And once the email has gone out, after that, the email has gone out, you wouldn't have to create a new campaign. This is to nurture your people more on a regular basis with relevant information week by week, or for that matter, sending out newsletters as you would like to have newsletters as a part of your marketing system. That's another way you use automations in Zenler. If we go to site and we go to language here, You would also have system emails, which is system automation working for you, wherein any person who takes any action as a part of these, there are automatic emails set that you can use to be able to send it to your students on the basis of their actions. There are smaller automations in Zenler as well at every part, which I might not have covered in very detail at this moment. But there are little things in Zenler that helps you remove your repetitive tasks and create some free space for you to be able to keep doing your work, and at the same time set it once and it can run for you as long as you would want. Moving forward, we'll talk about the external automations and how we can use tools like Pabbly to be able to automate other tasks that we would want. So I will quickly get back to my screen and get started with using external automations as well. When we talk about automations, there are two things. One is a trigger and the other is an action. So what do I mean by a trigger? Trigger would mean that when you want a certain action to happen, what should be the picking point? Where should the system understand that this is where I need to take an action? That is a trigger. Once the system picks up the trigger, that is when the system takes an action. For example, like I said, the trigger would be that when a student enrolls in a program, the action could be add to an Excel sheet. I'll explain again. A trigger would be how would the tool understand what do I need to do here? An action would be is the particular thing that it has to do on the basis of the trigger. And if you search on internet, if you search on, there's a particular link I'll open, you can look at different triggers and different actions that are possible in Pabbly as a part of Zenler. Like I'll click at this link and I'll just quickly show you what are the different actions and triggers that are possible in Zenler. 1 second. So first we'll take a look at that and then we'll test here as well. So if you see here, here are the triggers and here are the actions. I'll just give 20 seconds before I speak again for you to take a look at what are the different things, and then I'll continue. About 10 to 15 seconds for you to give it a read so that you understand it well before we start. All right, so as you see here, there are different triggers like once you complete a course, what is the action you want the system to take? Or for that matter, once a student completes a lesson, what is the action do you want to take? But if you see here, these are automations that is Zenler to Zenler, which means any kind of advanced things that you're trying to do in the system that is at the moment not viable to the kind of system that you are trying to set particularly for your programs, then you can do Zenler to Zenler automations as well using the triggers and actions. You can also set Zenler to another tool. For example, let us search for a tool here, which is, Excel sheets, the example that I was taking. Let's take Microsoft Excel and see the kind of integrations that are possible. If there is any tool that you'd like to suggest in the comments, I'm happy to take that and we can go through that before we actually start implementing. If you see here, when a course is completed in Zenler, create a worksheet in Microsoft Excel. That is doable. And if this is happening, that means maybe some people are trying this out. When a new workbook is in Microsoft, when a new contact detail is added in Microsoft Excel, add a user in Zenler. When a lesson is completed in Zenler, create a table in Microsoft Excel. If a new enrollment comes in Zenler, add to a particular row in Microsoft Excel. And these are different kind of automations that you can do that would suit your need as to how you would want to run it. And there are multiple ones here, and I can keep loading more and you can try these. Let us look at another automation, probably a tool that we use most often. Let me just reload it. And okay, so it's here. Let us look for a tool that people might use more often. Let's say Asana. Sometimes, I'm a big fan of Asana. So let's say I want some of the data to go in Asana for me to see that what are the kind of sessions I'm doing. So here, when a course is completed, I can create a task in Asana using custom fields. If a project or task is completed in Asana, I can add the user in Zenler. When a specific task is updated in Asana, I can update a user in Zenler. I can say in Asana, I can have, invoicing details as well. That this particular, there are a lot of people in our system who are doing B2B sales as well. A lot of time I get questions to understand that I would be auto enrolling all the students. And they would be giving a bulk invoice where I would be training them for my course. Here, what you can do is you can use a Pabbly or a Zapier integration where you can use Excel and Pabbly together. You can say that whenever data is added to Microsoft Excel, all those people will be added as new user in Zenler and they will be added to a particular course. After that, you can also say that when these people have cleared their invoice, Asana has different dashboards, right? Let's say you have moved a particular user to paid. When that user has moved to the paid project in Asana, all of those people get added in the course and get access automatically. So for people who are using Zenler course for B2B relationship, wherein you give access to all the employees, but the invoicing happens at one place. Maybe your access to all the students can become faster with putting all the data inside an Excel sheet. And using the Excel sheet, they are all enrolled into Zenler at a click of a mouse. Once you set it up, every time you put the data here, 2 seconds later, all the data and the users are in Zenler, and the welcome email with password reset has gone out. Imagine how easy your life could be. As I'm talking about it, I can only say that you will have, just a relief of breath saying that how easy can it be. Just try. Having said that, the next thing that we do is we create an account on Pabbly. You get about 100 tasks free in Pabbly to try, and you get one Zap free in Zapier to try. One Zap would mean you can set one workflow. As I open Pabbly, I will also tell you what a workflow is. A workflow would mean the different steps you put inside a workflow. For example, step number 1 is extract data from Excel. Step number 2 is go to Zenler, add the user. Step number 3 is enroll the user into the course. So these are 3-4 steps. The 3-4 steps together, and we may call it tasks as well for easier understanding. These 3-4 tasks together make one workflow. So what Pabbly is giving you individual tasks free. But what Zapier is giving you, it is giving you one workflow free. So either you can set up one workflow in Zapier and test it for free, or you can set up one workflow in Pabbly and have tasks as much as where 100 tasks will be occupied in a month and you would not lose your data. For example, let's say you have 5 tasks in one workflow, which means to enroll a user from an Excel sheet to Zenler, there are 5 tasks. Now, in a month, you can only enroll 20 people because when you enroll those 20 people, every enrollment will take 5 steps and 100 tasks are over. 21st person will not be able to get access to the program. They will you will have to do it manually for them or upgrade your plan on Pabbly. That is how it works. So if you want to test Pabbly, 100 tasks are free. If you want to test Zapier, 1 Zap is free. Here I have already created a login, but what you can do is when you come to accounts.pabbly.com/login, you can simply sign up on the platform, and I have signed in with Google. So I'll click on sign in with Google. And I'm using my official ID. So I just clicked tap and it is already logged in here. So I come to this screen. Now, Pabbly has different kind of features. It has subscription billing. It has Pabbly email marketing. It has form builder as well. It has chat flow as well. It has webhooks as well. And it has email verification as well. But we do not want to use any of these features. What we want to use is Pabbly Connect. Remember, when we began this session, I told you automations are to create connectors, to add as a connector to work. So we want to be able to connect two platforms together or two services together. So here I will use Pabbly Connect and I will click on Access Now. Let's try an automation between Excel and Zenler, where we can say that if a name is being added to a particular Excel sheet, that name gets added in Zenler. So here you see the tasks allotted are 100 because it's a new account and I have 100 free tasks. So to begin with, I will click on plus here. Okay, so we already have a folder. We will click on create workflow, and here is where you will be able to see all your workflows. So here on, if you want, if you're watching this video, go back, pause the video and see every step I'm doing and then follow through one by one. There are a few things that you would have to do to be able to make the connections happen in case something is not working out, because sometimes the connections need little bit of extra authentication. When you are doing it, if something is not working out, feel free to reach out to the Pabbly team to be able to help you to sort any kind of access details or connection details that are not working out. You can also go to Pabbly resources. They have multiple tutorials. They have a good bank of tutorials being built. They have a support page as well. Feel free to move forward and get in touch with them to get any support that you would need for the workflows. So I'll click on create workflow here. And let's call it test workflow for Zenler. And I'm adding it to the home folder. And the workflow has been created here. So here I will tell you how to start. Remember, I told you trigger. The first thing is what the system needs to do to understand what needs to be done. So here our trigger is going to be Zenler. Okay. So we are doing the automation wherein we are picking up data from Zenler and we are adding it to an Excel sheet. You can do it vice versa as well. So the first thing I'll repeat, and I'm doing it, I'm repeating it again and again because sometimes I tend to go fast and things like these require extreme attention because we are doing it for the first time. So a trigger is where you need the system to understand where does it needs to start, what is the first thing that it needs to do and where to pick up the data from. All right. So our trigger here is Zenler and I have chosen the Zenler app. Now it's asking for a trigger event. Let's say the trigger event is when a new user is added. And there is a difference between new lead and new user. Because a new lead would mean that it has become a part of a marketing funnel, because the user role in a marketing funnel is a lead. And if the person has added on any other role, like a student or an assistant or any other role, then it would be a new user. So let's say we are using new lead, that whenever a new lead is being added to Zenler, we will do the second step. Let's choose the second step, and I will go back on the first step and connect Zenler, because right now Pabbly here does not have any information or any connection with Zenler at the moment. So here the next step is going to be Excel sheet. Okay. So here we are saying that whenever a new lead is added, action event, go to Microsoft Excel, and the action sheet is, let's select a action sheet here. Okay. So our action here is that go to Microsoft Excel and add row to a worksheet. Now you see connect here. It is because now Pabbly knows what is the trigger, knows what is the action, but does not have access to Zenler, does not have access to Microsoft Excel. How does Pabbly function? Now here we need to be able to connect Zenler. I will click on connect here. And here I will get an option, add new connection or select existing connection. Had this be an old account, I would have existing connections here if I was using the account, because you can connect multiple accounts as well. But because this is a new account, I will click on add new connection, and I will again call it Zenler to Excel, so that I remember that what did I use the integration for. Here is where it will ask for an API key. Now here I'm using a Zenler test account. In your account as well, whenever you go to site and you go to integrations, we will go to site here and we will go to integrations. Remember, integrations are only accessible by the admins of the super admins of the account, because as the super admin of the account, you have access to two areas which are very unique to you, which is the billing area and the integrations area. All other access points or user roles in Zenler, such as an admin as well, does not have access to the integrations in the billing area. And who is a super admin? Someone who has, signed in as the first owner of the Zenler account, that is the super admin. So because I have super admin access of this account, I have access to the integrations area. If you go to integrations, you will see multiple things here. And as David was talking about, we have Zapier as an integration in Zenler internally. But for external automations, you can use a tool like Pabbly as well. Here, we will go to get your API key. I will just click on get your API key. I will click on generate key here. Okay, so here you would have to do a little bit of information to be able to get your API key. And as you see, an account verification review and approval process would go through in some accounts, and it would take about 24 to 48 hours for you to receive your API key in some cases. Because this is a test account and we don't use this account a lot apart from testing purposes, that is why we would have to fill in this information to be able to get the API key from Zenler. Usually, if you're using the account quite frequently, if you are if it's an active account, you would have access to the API key, but in some cases, you would have to request your API key from the support. So in this case, I'll go ahead and fill up the form to be able to request my API key, and I will get it from Zenler. But I'll just explain you how do we go forward and do the automation. And later, once we have the API key for the test account, I'll do one more video for you and I'll show you how to be able to add your API key as well. Once you have your API key, you enter the API key here and click on save. Once you enter the API key and you click on save, your Zenler account will be added and you would be able to access the information of the Zenler account. Once that is done, I'll click on cancel here for now. Once that is done, I will go to Microsoft Excel and I will click on connect here. Again, I will click on add new connection and I'll say Zenler to Excel. And then I will click on connect with Microsoft Excel. And here I'm not sure if you'll be able to see my screen or not. It is asking me to be able to connect with my Microsoft account. Once I log in my details, once I put in my details, I will be added to the Microsoft Excel as well. Once that is done, I will again click on save and then the Excel sheet would be connected as well. So in both cases, once Zenler is connected, once Microsoft Excel is connected, the automation would start working. And every time a new lead is added in the Zenler system, it will go to Microsoft Excel and add a row there. Using this, you can automate any complex task or any kinds of tools that you would like to connect Zenler with. For example, if I choose Asana here, the one that we were talking about a little while ago, you will see you can choose an action here, which is create a subtask, create a project as a template. Let's say you work with people on one-to-one coaching only. So here you can select the action where it says that a new enrollment to a course. So whenever there is a new enrollment to a course, here you can go to Asana and you can say create project, which would mean that in this project of Asana, you would be mapping people to understand how does that particular system progress. And this is the second type of integration that you can do. Here, if you see, this time it is not asking us to add the API key, but it is asking us to add the webhook URL. We log into our Zenler account and it is giving the complete information on how to add a webhook. And I'll show this to you. Remember when we were doing the automation, there was a space where it said add a webhook. I'll show you here. Let's go to our system and let's go to courses. There are two types on how you can connect Zenler with Pabbly, and I'm showing both the ways. The first is the API key, and the second is adding a webhook and passing a webhook. I'll go to automation here. We go to enroll sequence and click on edit. Let's follow the steps as well. So go to your new Zenler account, click on courses from the top menu, create a new course or select the existing course. We have done that. Click on the automation tab, click on edit automation rules. We have done that. Add a new rule if you want to and select event on enroll. So we will go here. We will click on add rule. We will click on all enroll. We also have on course complete, on lesson. We will go and click on all enroll. Okay. Now, under each rule trigger, you can add webhooks. Okay, so let's call this rule Zenler to Excel. And let's click on save changes. Okay, now here our on-roll automation rule has been added, but there are no actions added. Here as well, it's a trigger and action. This add rule is a trigger. When will it happen? And the action is that we will add right now, which is sending a webhook, which is send a webhook here. So add action, send a webhook. Now we will go back to Pabbly here. Give your action a name. We have done that. Copy the webhook URL. This is our webhook URL. I will copy this. And I will put it here. And click on save changes. So I'll click on yes. The automation is live. And we will click here, waiting for webhook response. Okay, so it also says new enrollment to the course. So let us do one thing. Let us add a user here on the back end to see how the automation is working. Because Pabbly requires an action to be able to send a sample data. So on the backend, let me add myself with a different user ID to the course. Okay, so what I'm doing is just to test it, I'm just adding my name, number, email ID, and just adding this to see what is the response we receive. Okay, so I will just stop sharing my screen for a moment because of the security issues that we completely take care of. There will be an OTP that will be sent to my email ID before I can add myself. Because this is a test account and we want to take care of the security. So whenever you add a user on a free account or on a test account, you have to ensure that the security is taken care of. So just in a minute, I will add. And that's done. Okay, so let me go to dashboard here. And let's see, has the response been captured? Let's. Okay, if you see a notification here says, now log into the application where you've added the webhook URL and do a test submission record. So the data can be added and recorded here in the webhook response. And once we have, and here I've been, oh, I had to add myself to a course. I completely skipped that and I added myself as a site admin. So let me go to courses. Let me go to contacts again. And here I would have to add myself as a student to be able to add to the course. 1 second.
Yeah, this is actually why it asks for an OTP, because you're in as admin. If you add a student, you won't be asked for an OTP.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. There's so much habit of adding myself as an admin that I completely forgot. What was I testing?
It's a big subject. You're covering a hell of a
Yeah.
lot in a very short space of time. Guys, you're going to need to pause this.
I hope I'm doing justice.
You are. You're doing brilliant.
Okay, so here I'll just double check the course, which is time management and productivity course. 1 second, which is where we picked up the URL from. Yes, time management and productivity course. So we'll go back. I've selected the plan to free and I will click on enroll. All right, now I'm enrolled in the course and I think Pabbly should have picked up the webhook response, and it has. Now, if you see here, it has received the response as soon as I was added here as a student, and it has picked up all my details of the details that I added, my first name, my last name, my enrollment date as well, because that is the main trigger, my email ID that I used, again, the creation date and the course URL as well, the course that I'm part of, and my course ID as well. And the other information that I did not fill in has not been picked up. Now, using this information that I have passed through the webhook URL, I can add any other step in the next step where the trigger of enrollment in a course can be used. Now I can use any other app that I would like to use and send this information anywhere that I'd like to. This is how you use either webhooks to pass the data, or you connect the account to be able to do automations between tools which are not connected to one another, but you have a need where you need to be able to connect Zenler to an external tool. And this is what automations are. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have today for me.
Well
I hope it
done.
went well.
It did. I mean, it's a very complex subject, but actually, when you start working with what Mammy was talking about with the triggers and the actions, and it's then very easy because all you need to know is that there's an action being triggered that Zapier or Pabbly are seeing, and then they take action on that trigger. And that's all it is in a nutshell, you know. But actually setting it up, like you guys saw Mammy jumping around there and those things, it could seem very complex, but I promise you, if you start doing 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them, you'll start to understand how it all works. Because what you showed there was actually really nice and simple for people to follow. You gave people time to look through everything so they can follow. You're going to have to pause the video, right? Okay. Because Mammy's working on a live site. She's not coming and prepared all this stuff. It's very easy for you to do what we call a blue Peter, whereas here's one we did earlier. But actually to do it live in front of you is quite scary sometimes because things go wrong, don't they?
Absolutely, they can.
It's
Like this
like,
one, the API key. I think that was because of, again, a testing account, because usually I'm able to find out the API key. So those are things that happen live.
yeah, it all happens live. And of course, if you haven't got, if you've been added as an admin to a site, then you might not have access to the API key, only the root user. So that is benefit for you guys. If you've got a VA working for you, put them in the role of admin, remember they're not going to get access to your integrations, especially if it's a second or third site as well. So you need to bear that in mind. You might get your developer turn around to you and say, can you give me the API key? Because I need to connect it up with something like Pabbly or Zapier. So understand how they're using it. And that is a hidden key that you can just grab in your admin, give to them, and then they can move forwards. And things like OTPs and things like that, if you're setting for admin up, it's really easy to do. You go in there, set a user up, do it admin, and you're like, oh no, I meant to set them up as a student. Be really careful, guys, because if you set someone up as admin accidentally, and then you send it, I've given you access to my course, and then they go in, they're going to get access to all your stuff. All right. So you need to really be careful with this stuff. It's all right. That's why we
because I just did that. I wanted to give access as a student to a particular course, and I just added as a site admin out of habit, because we are so habitual of giving access to each other as a site admin that I completely forgot for a moment that I'm supposed to be a student in there. But it could happen as a genuine mistake with anyone. You could end up giving a site admin access, and it will give access to your entire site to the person who you're giving access to, and that could be a little dangerous for you them to have access to your entire site.
Yeah, and this is why we always say to you, like, if you're going to do things like that, either ask on the group or view support document. We're here for you. So if you put that in there, we'd send you to the right area to understand role types, because it is really important. That brings us back to what we were originally talking about, which is testing. So if you're testing all this stuff, I mean, what Mammy's shown you there, you could use one of your 3 sites as a testing site. It's a good idea because you can play around then, no one's getting in.
Absolutely.
And you can try all this stuff out until you're comfortable. You've seen how it looks as a student, and then you can try it out. But these external, I mean, it really takes it to another level, doesn't it, Mammy? These external these ways that you can actually send stuff out and do other actions, like things like Pabbly or Zapier.
Absolutely.
Really, really powerful. We did have someone asking in the group, Mammy. Someone's asking, if Zapier is integrated into Zenler, do we need to pay for a Zapier account?
Absolutely, because the integration is easier for you to, access Zapier, but the features of Zapier are not included as a part of the Zenler plan. For example, when you use Stripe, you use PayPal, or any other tool that you use along with Zenler, the integration is easier so that you don't have to go through the complexity of connecting the two, which you just saw me do with Pabbly. So you don't have to go through the complexity of adding the 2 tools. Zenler has done that for you on the back end. but the features of the tools are something that you have to pay for to use their features. So you'll have to pay to Zapier to be able to do the zaps.
Yeah, I was just saying that, imagine if we had like an enterprise level Zapier account that all of you guys could use. That's not the way it works, because you'd be able to get into the dashboard, so everybody would see everybody else Zap link. And if you, I'll get rid of these, I'll delete these, you'd be deleting these out of other people. So you need your own bespoke. Sometimes that's the case with Zoom, because like some of you want some apps and things working within Zoom. And of course, if you're using our Zoom, we don't give you access to that, because again, everybody's sharing it. So you're sharing the live features, but not all of the app integrations that come into it. So some people decide, because of that, they use their own personal paid for Zoom account because they want to use some of those apps. But generally, if you're starting off, or even if you've been doing it for years, you might not even use those apps, in which case you can just use Zenler Zoom. So that's why it's kind of locked down, and that's why we wouldn't give it to you for free. Plus, Zenler is already paying for so much stuff anyway. It's like, I know you guys, if you don't ask, you don't get, but no way is Zapier not going to be free as part of Zenler. Zenler will, however, extend on what it has, and we might take away some of that use of you using things like Pabbly or Zapier. If there is people asking on the feedback site, I really want to output my data directly into an Excel sheet, then, on your Google Drive, then maybe that's a feature that we would put forward. But remember, already you can export CSV format, which you can take straight into an Excel sheet anyway. So it's a one step more to do that yourself on a manual level. But maybe then we'll head that way to adding more and more automations, because we are adding gamification and these sort of things in.
Absolutely. The more features that you request, that we understand that, more and more people can get benefited with, why not? That will become an automation in the Zenler site.
Yeah. And of course, we try to lead the way with features going into the platform, but we also keep an eye on our competitors. And if they've got a feature going in, we tend to do it. Right? So we're always keeping an eye on what's going on. Plus, we're trying to lead the way by bringing features such as branching surveys and quizzes onto the platform, plus a load of other things like full community and other exciting things that are coming your way, which we can't really talk about. But yeah, that was fantastic, Mammy. That was brilliant.
Thank you so much, David.
I think you know what, this is classic, Mammy, because this is what happens with me. I know you were slowing down, you're going fast. I do the same. It's like I'm going too fast, and then it's like I get these notes come up. I'll have to watch that on replay.
Yeah, I've realized that when we know things, we tend to go too fast. Okay, this, da 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 da, this is done. And then I realize when I watch it myself, oh my God, that's fast. I knew it, but the one who is watching might have to pause and then back and then forward. So I thought, let me just repeat. Let me just go as slow as possible, so that even if they pause, they don't miss a lot. Because when we know things, we tend to go ahead with the assumption, okay, they would know this. This is how it is supposed to be done. So yeah. I'm glad I went slow this time. Yeah,
I was saying like 6 hours is not enough. It's like we need to do 12 hours, but then we fit more in to go slow. Because obviously also, like, this is a good point as well, when like someone like Mammy is running a live, she's got a set time. She's got an hour to get this all done. And if she doesn't cover it, then you have to go with the flow. Like if you're behind, you need to catch yourself up. So you need to go faster. So Karen said, thank you, Mammy. Karen's been on here watching you. So you're going to use it, Karen, and you're going to try and have a go at Zapier gives you one free zap, and I think Pabbly gives you 100.
100 tasks.
Actions.
Yeah, 100 actions. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could try it with that. With their free plan, with Pabbly's free plan.
Yes, correct. Pabbly's free plan.
So brilliant. That is great. Thank you so much, Mammy, for giving us that. That was superb. I think people are really going to love that. I think what we'll do is we'll split that out. we'll split that video away. It is chapter marked in the YouTube day with Zenler with Mamit here, and I think I'm going to split it away and put it into the general training as well, so that it can be found, because it is a question that's asked a lot. I know that obviously what's led you to do this is because you've had a lot of questions on the live support desk.
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of times they had questions, unique questions that now I don't remember all of them, but I want to do this, this, and this particular thing. So I went ahead and said, oh, if this is the unique thing that you want to do, you might have to use a connector. So then I have to explain them on the call. What's the connector? How do you connect it? What do you do? And this had been coming for a while now. So I thought David Zenler is the best space to be able to cover a training like this, which can also become a standalone training for people to watch, to understand at least the basics of what an external automation is, and then they can take it forward from there. So yes, exactly, all the people who are listening out here, thank you so much, because this has happened because of you asking the right questions.
Yeah, so it's all led by you, and that is actually great, because that yeah, if any questions come up that you're getting these repeat questions, Mammy, yeah, come on a day with Zenler and then do them, because
Always.
Mammy, I see how busy you are. Are amazing with the live support desk. You can be quiet, but when it gets busy, it gets busy. And there's only Mammy is again you're on for 2 hours, but you have this like you get little patches of like really, really busy, and you've got to answer those questions really quick. So Mammy can't spend an hour showing how to do like you have to use Pabbly external
yes,
automations.
absolutely.
So
yeah,
you just don't
sometimes
have
I
the
feel
time.
that how do I help this person is in this moment, because there are so many people waiting to get their question answered, and then I have
Yeah.
to go and fetch one of the trainings of Pabbly just to get them started with, and then I tell them to go to Pabbly tutorials. So I thought maybe one of our Zapiers are already there, but sometimes when I'm explaining them something else, I grab any particular thing that they have asked about Pabbly, so I send them that training, or I send them our Zapier trainings that we have in YouTube. So I thought maybe if we have a basic rundown of how this is done, so now this time sharing this training would become easier.
You'll just go, there it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think we'll have a special spot actually for Mammy when she comes on Day with Zen next time. We'll just give her a nice background with live support, maybe use a live support, but highlights or something that we can get in there so that Mammy can then answer those, follow those through. So guys, if you are on live support desk and Mammy says, yeah, that's been asked a lot, I'll show that on the Day with Zenler. Just make sure that you're signed up with David Zenler, and you'll know what's going on, and you can go on there and you can see a full explanation, because Mammy is under a time restraint with the live support. And it's crazy live support, because like you do get quiet periods, don't you, where there's no one there, and then suddenly you get like 5 or 10 people come in, and it's getting more regular now. You're starting to get full. Now we got to be careful. Yeah, we got to be careful as well, because Mamit's on her own. She's doing it all herself, and it's tiring stuff. It's tiring talking this amount of time. You're doing 2 hours, and every time you've been there. Mammy was doing 2 days a week. It's starting to get busy again. If we need 2 days a week, then we will. But we're probably but if Mammy needs help with any of these things, I've said to her, look, if you need a break, then I'll jump in, or Kevin can jump in, and we can run it, because sometimes if Mammy isn't there, it's just because like she's just exhausted and she needs a break. You can't blame me for this.
And this
Fantastic.
happened. Thank you so much, David. And I was just saying that though it was not because of the break, but that happened when, I was not able to take the session because of the power cut. You came in and you took the entire session for the live educational desk. And the first hour is always very busy. All the live desks, the first hour is definitely busy. Some live desks, the second hour is also busy. I'm speaking nonstop. And some of them get quieter in the second half. That is the next hour. But the first hour is always busy. I can't have a moment in the first hour for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, because if there's someone there, Mammy comes on. But there might be a time in the middle that Mammy puts the screen up. And it might be because she just needs a break, or a cup of coffee, or a drink of water or something. but she is always there. So you just have to just wait for her, and then she'll come back and do those things. Now, that's something I want to bring you a point as well, because I was looking through the live support, because the live support editions now go on our YouTube channel, and actually they're all chapter marks. And some of them I see there's not that many questions. And then I saw one the other day and there was about 40 questions in there. It was crazy. And actually my wife, who uploads and does the chapter marking, she was going, that must have been a crazy session. It was like so much, non-stop talking all the way through.
That's how it is sometimes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mammy, for doing this.
Thank you, David. Thank you. I had a lovely time. I hope the training would help everyone.
It will. It's going to be amazing. Amazing. So we're going to come back. It's now 1 minute until 10. We're going to come back in 2 hours time. So 2 hours from now. So we're coming back at 12. Okay. 12 BST time. We just had the amazing Mammy up there. We covered a little bit on what you need to do to prepare for the live build, and that'll all be ready for you. So we're going to be doing that. So at 12, we're going to be running. Kevin's going to be in. I don't know what he's talking about. He's hasn't told me what's going on. So it could be anything. And he's going to run that for 2 hours. So he's going to be running in for 2 hours. I think he's got lots of stuff prepared, but I'm not going to say anything because he'll tell me off if I do. But remember, on part 1, the very beginning part, I asked you to do something. If you want to work along with me for doing the live, like how to build a day with Zenler type of thing, okay, just make sure that you have got your little plan together so you can work along. So I'm going to just quickly screen share. So I've filled this out a little bit more. This is from our day with Zenler. But this is the sort of thing you need to be doing. You need to be putting the name of the project you're working on, probably in the name of the title of it. You can put any notes you want there, what you're going to use it for, and then you can start to fill the content. So obviously I've got a title there, I've got a strap line there or subtitle there, and then I've got the main copy, and then I go on to what's happening. This is generally happens every month. I've got a general breakdown there, and then I've got the times down there. And of course, then you can start putting an agenda together of your session. Day with Zenler is 3 sessions, 2 hours each session, hours, with 2 hour gap between session 1, 2, and 2 and 3. So that's how so it's very clear as to what's going on. So if you're building this stuff, planning is the key. So guys, try and get something like this together. And then we're going to break in after Rakesh has been on at 4 o'clock, so that'll be about 5 p.m. BST time. We're then going to build this out. Okay, we're going to build this out. So I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to be giving you checklists to go through. So checklists are really going to help you with this sort of thing. It's going to make sure that you've done your automations, that you've set up your lives, that you've double checked the dates, that you've done your funnel, that you've done your testing. All of those things are like check marks to put in. Also, I'm going to give you a set of what you can do in Zoom as well when you start the session. So this is going to be gold dust for you guys, and we have training on it as well. But let us now end. This is the close of session 1, the day with Zenler. Thank you so much, Mammy. Got Kevin coming up in 2 hours' time with I don't know what, and Rakesh with I don't know what he's going to be talking about. So we've got 2 completely. Oh, it's a day with Zenler. Anything could happen. Guys, take care. I'm going to see you in 2 hours' time.